Hi, everyone. So, some dumb shit happened at Aldi yesterday, and I got on here to talk about it. For anyone who's not familiar, Aldi, I call it Aldi's, I don't know the S, but Aldi's is just a small grocery store um, where there's limited options for what you can buy. Like if you go into a regular grocery store, maybe there's 5 brands of salt. If you go into Aldi, there's like one. So it's a good place to go if you are feeling indecisive or whatever. Um, yesterday was Saturday afternoon. Alicia comes over from next door. Don't worry, this will all like wrap around. Alicia comes over from next door, and we're both kind of just feeling unmotivated, but we need to get some things from Aldi that you can't get anywhere else, like the cat food and shit. And like when you're with somebody, like whether you're married or whatever relationship you're in, if both of you feel like you don't want to do something, then both of you go do it together. Because somehow it makes it feel less miserable than if you just did it by yourself. So her and I do that whenever we both feel like, ugh. So yesterday was one of those days, and I was like, okay, let's go get this shit over with. Let's just brace ourselves because it's Saturday afternoon and the weather's not that great, so people are probably out getting food. And sure as shit, that small ass parking lot was full, and I was like, great. Um, but anyways, so we go to Aldi and I get a cart. They're on the outside, and I'm headed toward the sliding door. This other lady, let's just call her um Donna, I don't know. Random name. Sorry for any Donnas out there. I just gotta call this lady Donna. So like me and Donna were headed toward the sliding door to go into the store. I got there first because I'm a natural speed walker and I didn't cut her off or anything like that. I'm not a rude bitch. I usually let people go before me, but like I was closer to the door than she was. So I went in before her. And she just gave me this look, and this is like harumph or some bullshit come out of her mouth. And I was like, oh, this fucking bitch is gonna be one of those. So, um, just miserable motherfucker out in the world wanting other people to feel miserable too. So, anyways, that happened. We go into the store, like, she shops, we shop, then we somehow end up in the same line where Donna's in front of us. And oh my God. So Donna has so many things that she bought from the store, and she's just like, just kind of stacking them all up on the conveyor belt, and they're going through. And there were so many items up there that the container of like cherry tomatoes that she had dropped on the floor in front of her, and a few of them came out of the container. So the cashier stopped what she stopped scanning the items and got up, because you can sit at Aldi when you're doing the cashier. Like that should be everywhere. That's so cool. But anyways, the cashier lady got up, went around, and bent over to start picking up the tomatoes, and Donna had a fucking shit fit about it. What do you think you're doing? You don't think I can pick up my own tomatoes? You think you're better than me? Like, this was legit the shit that was coming out of her mouth. And the poor cashier lady, let's just call her um Sally. We gotta throw Sally in there. I'll just call her Sally. Sally was so startled. And I like Sally. She's usually there when I go to Aldi, and I usually like to pick her line. So she's just like doesn't know how to respond to this lady. And she's like, I'm just picking up the tomato. Just my job. I'm just picking up the tomatoes. And the lady, like Donna, just kept yelling at her. I didn't hear all of it because I started like freaking out in my mind a little bit. Like, just imagine. So Donna, not to age shame people, I'm just setting the scene. Probably backwards, but whatever. So Donna's got to be like early to mid 50s. So she's an older lady. Um, and I'm confused as to why an older lady is acting like this. Like her kind of yelling was so loud. I'm not even exaggerating. Like the whole store could hear her. It's a tiny store. And it was toxic kind of yelling. It wasn't even somebody that sounded like they were in a meltdown, because like I can spot those whether they're in adults or children. Like now that I know I'm autistic and what meltdowns are, I know what a meltdown looks like. This was not a meltdown. I don't know what the fuck this bitch was on, but she was pissed and I clocked her around the whole store. Like I just, what I mean by that is if we passed each other in aisles, like I could sense her energy. It was not good. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I was just kind of like aware of her. I just can't help it. Like I don't know if that makes sense. But so anyways, so if anybody's ever been a cashier or worked in like grocery stores or like retail stores or whatever, like that you're gonna have asshole customers. I had my fair share when I went through college and I worked at Family Dollar. I had people go off on me, not as bad as this one went off on Sally. But I had customers. It's just like if you make the tiniest mistake or if you don't look at them or something like that, they just use that as an excuse to just unload just negative shit onto you as if like you're the cause of their life problems. And then it's humiliating because it's directed at you. People who don't know what's going on can hear it around the store. Like people maybe think that like you did something wrong and that you know what I mean? It's just humiliating. Maybe some people will hear the yelling and not want to ever come back to that store. Like I never enjoyed those experiences and I had a few of them. Not like this one. Donna was so loud, and me and Alicia both felt triggered, because like it just brought us back to different points in our life, and for me, it brought me back to like growing up and like at work being in situations where there were people screaming and there was no reason for that behavior. There's no reason to be yelling at people and treating them like shit anyways, regardless. And so, poor Sally. I really wish I knew that cashier's name. I should pay attention to her name tags next time. But anyways, so Sally retreats and goes back behind to her register and is still trying to tell the lady like this is my job. Like, she didn't want to make a mess because like if you don't pick those tomatoes up, people are going to step on them and then their shoes are going to get messy and the floor is going to get messy and then people could slip and then like you need to get somebody to clean that shit up as people are trying to check their groceries out. Like to me that was just all I thought everybody knew, that like of course pick the tomatoes up. I don't know. And like Donna looked like how do I say this? I'm not good with my words, and like Donna just looked like she was just somebody that would have had a hard time picking up those tomatoes if she bent over. I don't mean anything mean by that, and I don't want to say anything more than that for fear of sounding like a dick. But like I don't know, I hope you know what I mean. So that's why the lady ran around to go help. Meanwhile, me and Alicia are like, what the fuck is going on? And so, like, Donna keeps yelling and Donna keeps yelling. And finally, I looked at her and I yelled and I said, stop yelling at Sally. I didn't say Sally, but I said, stop yelling at her. Oh, what a mistake. Because Donna pivots, she turns hard, like her whole body turns 90 degrees and faces me and just she starts going off on me like I'm the target and says that like, "Oh, um I'm paraphrasing because a lot of it I didn't hear because how shocked I was that this happened. She said some shit about me having like a gender identity issue, being confused, maybe because I look androgynous in some spaces. I don't know. I'm guessing because she wants to pull the old card of like, you have short hair, you must be a dude. Who knows? Like, as if that's going to bother me in this day and age. Like, I have lived decades of being made fun of and taunted at. Like, you think that's going to bother me? No. And so she just starts throwing insults at me. Well, then Alicia's behind me and she's like, don't you talk to my wife like that. And I was shocked because Alicia is not confrontational. She doesn't say shit like that. She just, she's like, her and I are so opposite. I have a big mouth and she doesn't. And so when she said something, I was like, ooh, Alicia, look at you go. What else you got? And so the lady just yelled at all three of us, Alicia, me, and Sally. Then the people that were standing behind us in line, they started chiming in too. It was a fucking shit show. Just a shit show. And so Donna is so pissed that the rest of the items that she has in her cart, like a big bushel, I don't think it's called a bushel, like a big thing of like not salad, lettuce and celery, chucked the fruit and the veggies onto the conveyor belt from her cart. She was just like threw them on there, and it was just messy. She threw the rest of her shit on there like she was like a fucking 5-year-old having a tantrum. And I'm like, what is this bitch doing? Why is she so mad? None of us did anything to deserve any of this behavior. And she's yelling the entire time. I'm not exaggerating. This bitch never shut up. This went on for 5 minutes, at bare minimum, 5 minutes, because it took her a while to like Sally was having a hard time scanning her things because she was probably just as stupefied as the rest of us. And so that process took a while. And God, it's just, I hate to overuse the word. I don't mean to. Everybody uses it, but triggering is just the word I would use. Like, Alicia and I went different spaces inside our minds when that happened because it was toxic, just toxic. And it took us hours for our bodies to just kind of like wind down once she went over to Janice's after, and then I came back home and I was just like amped up or something. I was very anxious. Um, that was not a good situation. And I apologize if I'm all over the place. I never expected that. Like, you don't expect these things to happen when you go out in public. I mean, but you hear that they happen, but like, and maybe it sounds like I'm making a big deal over nothing, but like, I'm telling you, it was so toxic. This lady had something that she needed to unload. Something's happened to her in her life, or maybe that day, like, who knows? So, I used this as an opportunity to gauge where am I at in life as far as working on myself. And turns out I'm in a good spot because, do you know, old me would have been the cringy bitch. That would have just, I would have, and I have done this before and it's embarrassing, but I'm not that person anymore. I would have made such a scene right back. I would have made a scene more than she made a scene. I would have said some mean fucking shit because I was an asshole. And not even realizing like that's just as toxic as the next person, you know what I mean? I used to do shit like that. And like looking back, like obviously that is not the answer. And I'm the complete opposite now. I shake at confrontation. I was outwardly calm because that's just what I'm used to, is like let's hide the fear. Um, oh my God, sorry. Like it was just wasn't good. And so she is getting like this dude appears out of nowhere. I don't want to assume he's her husband, but I don't know where he was. Where was he the entire time that she was like checking out and like yelling at us? She's walking out with her shit, right? She finally pays for her stuff. She's walking out with a cart. She's walking backward. This dude comes out of nowhere, puts an arm around her, like obviously knows her, and starts trying to guide her out of the store while she's walking backward, looking like she wants to walk forward and start a fight, like a physical fight. It's like 30 steps or feet or whatever from the register where we were at to the front of the door. It was the longest walkout. It just took forever for that bitch to leave. The whole store, everybody was just shocked. We were just staring at her like, what the fuck is going on? And then, this is hilarious to me. The lady leaves, right? Then the manager decides to come out. Like, where the fuck were you, bitch? Like, you just now came out when this ended. You didn't come out before. And so I was very quick to let her know that Sally did nothing wrong because, do you know, like, I've had that stuff happen to me, and I've had asshole supervisors. Like, I had a bitch supervisor in Family Dollar, and, um, wouldn't like just didn't give a shit if the customer was in the wrong. Like if the customer was angry at all and I was around, it was my fault. You know, and so just in case that manager was like that, I was like, Sally didn't do nothing. I didn't say Sally, but you know. Um and oh my god. And then the people behind us were like trying to tell the manager what happened, and like it's me and Alicia's turn to like check out, and like we just want her to scan our shit so we can just it was just all not good. Not good. I was not prepared for that. I don't think I can recall a time where I've been anywhere where somebody's been that toxic with their words, and like the word cunt was thrown around. Sorry, I don't mind the word, but I know some of you might. Anything that she could think of, she spewed out of her mouth. Just gross words, gross things. I don't even want to repeat some of the stuff I heard. Like just gross. No reason for this because somebody wanted to come help you pick up your fucking tomatoes, and they were being a nice human, and whatever the fuck story you have going on in your mind and that you were weaving in your life somehow got thrown onto her and the rest of us because we don't like this behavior of yours. Act like a nice human, please. Even if you're not one, pretend. Um, oh shit, I spent like 16 minutes on this. So, talk about a storescapade. Um, I still feel kind of anxious talking about that, so that's weird to me. Um, what is that, like PTSD maybe? Because like I don't know, like I just it did I didn't even now talking about it, you can tell like I'm having a hard time. It just I don't feel right. I didn't like that that happened, and I had no say in it. I just was there and I had to experience that. And that didn't feel good. And that kind of hate coming out of somebody's mouth didn't feel good. Like this is fucking New York, people. Not that like assholes don't live in New York, they do. But come on, man, like we're better than that. Um So that was something that I hope I don't experience again. Um, I don't know why I got on here. I just needed to get it out of my head. Maybe somebody's been through this recently or before, or has it affected you like that afterward where you left? Like, I can still picture that lady in my mind. That's how I know, like, I was triggered because I remember every detail about her. What she was wearing, about how, like, every detail. Like, I'm just stuck in that scene right now. Like, it's weird. Um, but just like shit, people shouldn't do that ever. Like, let alone in public, but like ever. Like, don't talk to somebody like that. There's so much hate in this world. And, you know, we think we're far enough away from it than we actually are. That's not true. Oh, that was scary. I'm just gonna end this episode because, I don't know what else to say about it. Um, hopefully it was relatable in some way. And I'm gonna go do some writing and then get back to like cleaning the house and rearranging, um, and listen to some music. Yeah, this actually was the opposite. Usually, when I get on here and record about something that happened, I feel better, and I don't feel better right now. So I'm just gonna go. Hopefully, this wasn't a waste of your time, and thank you for listening. And goodbye.